Hey guys, Vern's here, back again with another Supercoach video. Good week for us, a 24.94, and our finals go awfully well. We unfortunately went up to 382 spots, just to 6,134. So season rank, it's just gonna flatten out around that 6,000 mark. A bit disappointing overall, but you know, not the worst case scenario. It was a bit of a rough start. We had a lot of good trades, I feel, early on, and then unfortunately we just had some bad decisions later on which fell apart. But what did we do this week? We actually, as you can see, used our final trade. So we'll jump in and see what happened. Basically, Hewitt was out again, and I just felt like I wouldn't be winning my finals games if I didn't have someone else on field, because I'd be running 21 at that point with Ware out injured. So ended up making the trade. Went from Hewitt, obviously, to, as we can see here, Sicily. I know everyone has Sicily, but at this point of the game, when I'm not worrying about total points overall, I think Sicily was the safest bet. I looked at him and Luke Ryan. Luke Ryan was 1 more point on the 5-round average, but Sicily's just been so good throughout the season that I just thought I would take the punt there, because Ryan's been down for a few games where Sicily's floor hasn't been that low. He's always maintained a good score, and then he's obviously had some good ones, where Ryan's had some good scores and then he was been really down in the mid-season. But he'd been really good recently. That's why I was looking at him, but I just decided Sicily was the safer one, and potentially just better overall. Ryan obviously outscored him this week by about 40 points, so this week it wasn't as good, but I won all my leagues but one. One of the ones I was actually in the minor finals for, so it doesn't actually really matter that much. But the ones that I was actually in the proper finals for, I managed to get on top of. So yeah, I was really happy there. And I think Sicily might just be better for the next 2 rounds overall. As I said, Ryan's definitely prone to have a low game, especially with these games being so important heading into finals. So wouldn't be surprised if he did. Where Sicily, as I said, I think his floor is just a bit higher, and he can also have those high games. So yeah, it worked out this week. But yeah, Sinclair came out with a 116, was pretty nice. Dawson 108, Sicily 104, and then Chris got to a 105. So 4 of them got over the tons. Not bad scores. It was nice to see Chris bounce back, because he's been really down the last few weeks. It was bloody brilliant to see the Pies get up on Melbourne. I loved that Friday night game. That was so good to come roaring back. I really felt like Cox was having a great first quarter. He was honestly just dominating the ruck. He was just dominating around the ground. But then Gordon started getting back over him over the next 2 quarters, but then just fell off in the final. And yeah, it worked out exactly as we wanted. Oliver picked up the 152, so we got a great VC score, but I think everyone did. And then, Collingwood won. So yeah, second place, 2 more games left. Sydney and Carlton. So it's going to be not the easiest finish. Carlton obviously really wanting the win, and Sydney really trying to push for top 4, but yeah, it felt bloody amazing to get up this week, so that was cool. Now on the unfortunate side, we did have Short have a bit of a down game again, but I guess that's it, just his regular, around this sort of 80 mark, it's kind of what he gets. Bailey Dale had a down game, 68, and just, didn't really get going. But yeah, we had a lot of good scores and then a lot of down scores. Like, this score could have very easily been much bigger than the 24. Well, just under 2,500. If these guys end up pushing a ton, for the players that didn't push a ton, if they pushed a ton, it would be massive. And I understand that's like obviously a lot of points, but the ones that didn't get a ton, they did get around the 60 and 70. So an extra 30, 40 points off 3-4 players and just getting a huge score. But yeah, Laird came out with the 145. He was obviously the backup captain. If I was looking like I was going to lose my leagues, I was going to actually just run with Laird as captain just to take a punt and hope for like a 170. But I ended up in a position where I didn't need to do that. So we just accepted Laird's 145, which was awesome. Miller picked up his 98. Oliver the 152 was great. Neil the 138 was great. So lots of good scores. Mills the 106, which we'll take. Kelly the 87, kind of feels bad. He was really on fire early on and just getting really involved, and then, as Kelly does, disappeared in the second half. I don't know what happened in the second half. I wasn't watching, but he definitely just disappeared, and I don't know if that was, once again, if he's tweaked something, as he always does in these games, or if he just started getting the attention that he probably should get. Cripps came back with a 104. Actually had a good week last week, Cripps. So I don't know if he came back, but yeah, just good. McRae 102. Um, these are like passable. We accept them as long as they hit the ton, but yeah, we obviously want a bit more out of it, these premium mids. And yeah, just players I don't think I'm going to be looking at next year overall. Witz came out with a good game. The 133 was massive. Darcy had a down game, unfortunately, with only the 59, but Freo obviously got up, so it doesn't really matter. Bont, the 100, he was on track for a much bigger score, but just, yeah, wasn't really in the game in the final quarter when Freo was sort of running away with it. Dunkley was just part of everything, kicks a goal early, just had a really high score from the word go, and then just like transitioned to that into like a massive final quarter as well. Obviously didn't matter in the game sense as Freo still get up, but yeah, was really good from him. Parker and Heaney, yeah, good scores out of them, and I really needed Mills, Parker, and Heaney to go off. A lot of my matchups, they were actually my, they were my uniques. Mills, Parker, Heaney, Lipinski. But yeah, just lucky in a few of the games where people had like Stewart and stuff who had an awful week, which, yeah, I'm very blessed I couldn't get Stewart because I obviously would have picked him up if I had the choice. I think a lot of people would have, but I just didn't have enough money for it. Sicily, as we can see, barely scraped into my budget, so it worked out really nicely to get him with such low, they just scraped into the cash budget, so it was great. As I said, if not, probably Luke Ryan, but yeah. So yeah, they ended up, it weren't bad scores at the end of the day. Like, these aren't massive scores, but they weren't bad scores. And Lipinski in the 96 is pretty nice too. Where, yeah, a lot of the uniques I was versing, they just unfortunately kind of flopped a bit and we ended up running over them. We had a lot of close games. We won one of them by 3. So, yeah, we'll just jump in and look at these leagues and see how the traveling was going. So, yeah, we did end up losing one of them. And as this thing does, it moves the losing one down here and out of the way. We don't have to see that. I guess if we had Ryan, we win this, but that's okay. Not really a big deal. And then we come up to these games where we end up getting up in our YouTube league, so that's really nice. We've managed to push ourselves into the top 4. Same with 7th. 7th managed to get up by 18 points as well, so some pretty close games here. And, 16 points. So yeah, some pretty close games here to push us into the final 4, which is really cool. We had a bye here because we won, but that was minor leagues, nobody cares. Nobody cares about Friends League. Friends League again, nobody cares. And yeah, here again, once again, an 8th place finish. We managed to pick up the 5th, and then pick up the 4th again, and we've made it to the final 3. I think we're versing a shit team in both of these, actually. Lol, that's funny as hell. There's actually so many people I'm versing, like, in these matches. Like, as we can see here, if you guys remember last week, we actually had the Dons 5th versus 8th in both these matchups. The Dons 5th versus 8th. And then both these games, we had, I don't know how to say that, but our boy Daniel up here come first and then ended up versing us in both of those leagues. And we ended up toppling him in both of them, so that's super unlucky for him. Yeah, we pushed through to the top 4 again there. Another 7th push through. I mean, that's kind of crazy. We have, 4th, 2nd, 5th, and 7th, so 1st and 3rd already out. Yeah, nice. Where were we? Yeah, then we had the very, very close upset here where we managed to 5th place. We got up on Clack Attack last week, and this week we beat Flag Dons by 3. Versing shit team again. My goodness, am I versing him in 3 different leagues? Okay, Damien, that is going to be... Oh, yeah, that's minor league 1. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Damien, it's going to be a big week for us next week. Winner gets to play finals in a lot of these leagues. Yeah, because it was over here we're playing him again, so... Crazy there. Yeah, just went obviously really well. We got really lucky here. He had Walsh, and I'm just like watching this Carlton game at the end, just hoping Walsh doesn't touch the ball. And then he had a period in time he got ahead of me, and I thought, please scale backwards. And then obviously Lions just kept clugging on those goals at the end and pushed the margin out. And obviously I think pushed the scaling more forward end of the game rather than late end. And Walsh ended up trailing back like 7 or so points and ended up winning this one, so that was super lucky. But yeah, really cool there. So yeah, they're all the leagues. We managed to push through to the semi-finals in, well, all but one. I mean, technically minor finals, semi-finals down here for these two. And then we got knocked out here in the minor finals, unfortunately, to Jack, which, well played, my friend. It was a nice score you picked up there. I guess I might as well just tune into my friends' leagues real quickly. So, yeah, we had 4th. Yeah, we managed to push through. our first, second, third, and fourth. Wow, how traditional of us to all make it through. And this one was only a 10-person league, so it is set up slightly different, and yeah, still a good run to start off with, so we'll be in the finals there. But yeah, that's just how everything went, guys. Thanks for tuning in once again. Thanks for joining us on the journey so far. Thanks for watching the video, liking, subscribing, just being here. I appreciate it every week. So yeah, sorry for the late night video. I'll get to that as soon as possible, and enjoy. Peace later.